We're going to answer 3 critical questions as well as some others. Why are trust signals in search critical to traffic and conversion? What are the conversion path trust signals, and how do you leverage them for growth? We're also going to talk about how to compound your traffic and sales with UGC, or user-generated content. Again, stay to the end. We're going to give you the link to download the digital and audio version of the book, Reputation King, and the digital version of the companion guide, which we call the strategy guide. So those will both be available with a link at the end. So I like to say that trust is king. And that might be a little confusing for all of those that for years, for decades, have always heard and read that content is king. And yes, content is critical, but why is content so important? Because content really is what's driving trust. So Shopify says that trust is the first principle of conversion. The behavioral economist says that trust is the foundation of every transaction. Now, if you think about it, a $20 bill or any currency, is a piece of paper. It's really worthless by itself. It's the trust in what that represents that allows transactions and economies and governments to work. If we didn't trust in that currency, if we didn't trust in what that currency says it's worth, we would have no economy, no government, and no transactions. Therefore, I like to say that the purpose of content is to create trust, expertise, and authority. Again, going back to the Google Eat criteria. So yes, content is critical, but in my opinion, if we look at the purpose of content, really trust is king and not content. This is an example of a website that lost rankings for all intents and purposes because the content wasn't seen as helpful due to the Google Helpful Content Update over the past couple of years. And this was basically just content that was repurposed. It was news content, it was aggregated, respawn, etc. So it wasn't seen as the trusted, authoritative, original source. There was nothing new on this website. It was simply repurposed news content, reaggregated, respun, and as you can see, it lost almost all of its traffic as a result. So this is the opposite effect of what we want. We want to create helpful, useful, authoritative, original, trustworthy content. Again, trust is king. So then the question becomes, do research results create trust and impact conversion rates? Well, let me ask you this. Of these 2 results, which one is more trustworthy? The result with the
Definitely the
1
second
star?
one. Definitely the one with the higher one. It doesn't need, but yeah, I'll take care of it from the audience side since you will not be able to hear them.
Was that Kashal? Okay. So this is an example when I was CMO of a national franchise in the United States. This particular brand had very poor online reviews. The trust signals were poor. It typically had 1 or 2 star ratings across the web. Traffic was down, conversions were down, sales were down because the brand was not managing its online reputation. The brand was not being proactive in collecting reviews, syndicating reviews, distributing reviews across the web to multiple review platforms. And as a result, the brand was hurting. Revenue was down tremendously because they really didn't understand the power, the impact of online reviews and their online reputation. So one of the first things I did when I came on board as CMO was to address the online reviews, the online reputation. As you can see here, we dramatically turned around the reviews. Those things that are circled in orange boxes are the ones that we really got aggressive and proactive around managing and distributing reviews to. And this changed the business significantly. As you can see here, just after 1 year of addressing this problem, this is the first year, Leads went up by 26%, applications went up by 25%, and sales went up by 19%. And all we did was address the online reputation, the reviews. We created more trust online. We did a lot of research surveys, interviews with customers, lost customers, and people that did convert and people that shopped but didn't buy, and found out that the number one reason they weren't completing the purchase was because they didn't like the reviews online. They didn't trust the brand. So we addressed that head on. This is another example of a search result that is showing the review stars in the rich snippets. As you can see here, by simply adding the review stars and the rich snippets in this search result, the traffic increased by almost 36%. This is dramatic. This is a significant increase in traffic by changing one thing, adding review stars to the rich snippets. This is a client of ours that, as you can see here, had very little traffic prior to working with Shopper Approved and adding review stars and trust signals to their search results and their website. Prior to working with us, they were averaging about 253 unique visitors a day. Now they're up to 22,000 unique visitors a day. It's an 8,745% increase in organic traffic. They also increased dramatically by almost 13,000% the number of keywords on page one, which of course, when you get keywords on page one, you're going to drive more clicks and traffic. They also increased their conversion rate by 272%. So this is what I mean by compound growth. When you have trust and you have review stars and you have top search results in organic and paid search, you're going to get more visibility. You're going to be seen as more trusted. You're going to get more clicks and you're going to generate more traffic. Now, what happens when people see your brand, your products, your website in the top search results, and by the top search results, I mean the top 5, they subconsciously trust your brand more. Why? Because they assume that if the search engine, Google, Bing, what have you, pick your search engine, they assume that if the search engine is serving up your brand and your products in the top search results, it must be more trusted by the search engine. That's just a fact. That's what we call persuasion. So people see those search results in the top of the page and they say, this must be a credible, trustworthy, authoritative brand. And then when they see those review stars in those search results, now they have another point of social proof that drives even more trust and persuasion. Dr. Cialdini wrote an entire book called Persuasion. And what that basically means is when you put people in the context of a trustworthy environment, a credible environment, they're going to be persuaded to purchase more often. And that's really what SEO and search results and EAT, Google EAT, expertise, experience, authority, and trust is all about, is creating that environment of a trustworthy brand so that when they see your offer and they see your products, they're going to convert at a higher rate because they're coming into it persuaded. So this is a compound growth scenario. Backing up a little bit, back in early June of last year, they installed Shopper Approved product and seller reviews. And then in August, about mid-August, they installed the Shopper Approved Q&A. And as you can see, the traffic increased dramatically. Why? Because we're getting more keywords and we're getting more review stars in those search results, which created the SEO effect and the trustworthiness. So really, the purpose of content is to create authority, show your experience, show your expertise, and create trust. Again, Google EAT, experience, expertise, authoritative, and trustworthiness, that's what it's all about. You have to create trustworthiness in your content, on your website, to have a search optimized experience and a trustworthy experience for your audience. So now let's talk about the conversion path. The conversion path is a concept we created, and it's our belief that the conversion path begins at search. So you've heard of the conversion funnel, and we like to look at it as more of a linear process versus a vertical process. And we like to look at it at the beginnings of search results, because that's really where persuasion starts. If you don't show up in the top 5 search results and you don't show up with a positive impression, specifically review stars, and answering the questions that your shoppers have, then they're not going to see you as trustworthy. They're not going to click on your search results, and you're not going to get the traffic. So once they go to your website, depending on the search result that came up, they might go to your home page, your category page, your product page, and ultimately, ideally, your checkout page. That really is the conversion path, creating trust from search to checkout. If you can do that, and you can do that on every page and every step within the buyer journey, you're going to have more conversions. So persuasion starts in search, it creates authority, it conveys social proof, and then influence happens on your website. This is where you have your social proof, your value propositions, obviously your products, your warranties, your guarantees, your shipping information, ideally free shipping, all of those components that mitigate or remove friction. Because friction is what creates abandonment. Friction is what creates doubt. If people aren't sure about your shipping policy, they're not sure about your warranty, your guarantee, your return policy, they're not sure if your website is secure, they're not sure if your product is quality, if you support your product, if this product is going to fit in their scenario or address their problem or solution, then they're not going to buy. So it's really all about addressing those questions, those concerns, those friction points or doubts that people have. And you do that through social proof and answering people's questions or Q&A. So this is a little graphic that we like to use to kind of explain how and why people don't make it all the way to checkout. They don't convert. The average website in the US converts at around 1.92%. If you're doing well, you're converting at 3%, but the average site is call it 1%. Many are well below 1%. So basically you get 100% of the traffic to your website, but then they see something that causes doubt, fear, concern, creates friction. Your form is too long. You're not showing clearly what your value proposition is. You're not showing clearly that you can solve their problem. Your content is weak. It's not addressing the questions that they have. It's not unique. It's not authoritative. It's not complete. They leave. Or they don't see a warranty or a guarantee or a return policy. They leave. These are all things that are going to create friction or bounce rate. So the idea is to look at your website and identify where people are leaving. Is it the home page? Is it the category page? Is it the product page? Address each of these individually. Optimize each of those individually. Look at the friction points. Look at the areas where people might have doubt, concern, fear, questions. Because unanswered questions create doubt and fear, and they leave. Chat bots are good, but a lot of people don't like to use them. A lot of people, most people, like to just find the answer on their own. So having a searchable Q&A tool is very important, but it allows people to go in there 24/7, 365, and instantly, quickly, easily find the answer to their question. If you can do that, you're going to remove a lot of that fear and doubt and concern. So look at your entire buyer journey or conversion path and identify the friction points, A/B test, optimize, and remove that friction and move on to the next and the next and the next and the next. This is our review flow. This is a process that we use to make sure that you're collecting, distributing, syndicating, optimizing your reviews, seller ratings, which are for the website, product reviews, obviously for the product, video reviews. All 3 of those are very important for SEO. All 3 of those are important for CRO, conversion rate optimization, and all 3 of those appear in different places and serve different purposes. So it's important to understand how, when, where, why to use and collect reviews, distribute those reviews, display those reviews across the web and on your website to make sure that you're dominating the search results and showing up where and when it matters. So we did a national survey and we asked 600 US adults, when they're researching a company online, do you check their ratings on multiple review sites? 66.33%, or 2/3, said yes. they check reviews on more than one site. Why? Because most people don't trust the reviews on a single site. So if you only have reviews on Google, or you only have reviews on a particular review platform, or worse yet, you only have reviews on your website, then you're not creating the optimal visibility in search. You're not creating optimal trust in search, because people want to see positive reviews on multiple platforms, multiple sites, multiple search results. Very, very important. This is why at Shopper Approved, we make sure that we're sending reviews and asking people to review us on multiple platforms, not just one or two, because you want to get that triangulation where people can see reviews from different sites, different authoritative platforms, so that it creates, obviously, an overwhelming aura of trust and credibility. Back to the Google Eat. If a company has a good overall rating on one review site, but a bad overall rating on two other sites, which site do you trust? This was another question. Well, as you can see here, again, 2/3 said that 2 review sites with bad overall ratings trump 1 review site with good overall ratings. So it's really, really important to, again, make sure that you're collecting and distributing reviews to multiple review sites and not just one. The worst case scenario is to collect reviews on your own website from a non-Google review partner, which means they're not being syndicated to Google for Google Ads, Google Shopping, organic paid search results, and of course Bing and other search engines, Yahoo, etc. It's very important that you're working with a Google and Bing review partner. Otherwise, your reviews are an island. They sit on your website and nobody sees them unless they go to your site. But the fact is that most people will not go to your site unless they see reviews in search results. So that's where the SEO component and the persuasion in search is absolutely critical. This is a very often misunderstood and not leveraged strategy. Make sure that you're working with a Google review partner, because if you're not, your reviews simply aren't going to be shown. So we like to say that ratings and reviews really sit between SEO and CRO, or conversion, because they affect both. When you're collecting ratings and reviews through a Google and Bing review partner, they're going to show up in the paid and organic search results. They're going to show up on your website, and they're going to create more visibility, more clicks, and more traffic in search, and more conversions on your website. So ratings and reviews are a form of UGC, or user-generated content, and it's a very, very important form of UGC. In fact, Google says that reviews are the gold standard of social proof, and they're absolutely critical to conversion and traffic. So don't underestimate the value of Google reviews and a Google review partner. So once again, you only get these search results if you're working with a Google review partner for both seller ratings and product reviews. Seller ratings and product reviews, not one or the other. You've got to have both. Why? In the States specifically, product reviews show up here. Here's an example of 30 product reviews with an average 4.6 star rating. And then the seller reviews show up here. So here's a 4.8 out of 5 and 1,100 store reviews for this particular website. So here are your seller ratings and your product reviews, both showing up in search, giving you that double barrel effect. From this perspective, the consumer is going to see a very trustworthy product and a very trustworthy seller, website, or brand. And you need both, because people are going to ask themselves 3 critical conversion questions. 1, do I trust this website or seller? 2, do I trust this product? And 3, do I trust this transaction? In other words, do you have a secure transaction seal? Because people want to make sure that all 3 of those are trustworthy and credible, not just 1, not just 2. So another example of product reviews showing up in search, along with the seller ratings. And Google, of course, has their top quality store rating, which is a special badge that's only available through Google. And you only get that if you have qualified Google seller ratings. So another reason to have Google seller ratings from a Google seller rating review partner, to make sure you qualify for that top quality store seal, because that's another trust badge That's very, very important in the conversion path. Another example, obviously, which one of these would you trust more? Well, you're going to trust the two on the outside there because they have both product and seller reviews. The one in the middle doesn't have either. So you want to make sure that you're collecting those reviews because they stand out. They create more clicks, more traffic. As you can see from the example we showed you before, the review stars can increase your click rate by 36%. Video reviews. Video reviews are very, very important. They're great for SEO. Google obviously owns YouTube. Pretty much everybody knows that by now. But video reviews or video testimonials are very, very powerful for SEO. They're very powerful for creating a visual interest in the search results because that thumbnail shows up in the search results. People's eyes are naturally drawn to those thumbnails and they naturally want to click on that video. They work great, obviously, in your YouTube feed. They work great on your website, and they work great in organic search. So video reviews, very powerful, very, very search optimized, especially when you're doing a search for the brand reviews or brand video reviews. They can dominate page one. They're also very engaging, and they create more time on site. So you really want to make sure that you're working with a review partner that also collects video reviews. This is an example of our search optimized review certificate. All of the video, seller, and product reviews are housed on a search optimized certificate that we create for each brand, creating an additional asset or search optimized target in your search results. This is a review widget. This can be on your website, your homepage, category page, product page to show the video reviews. Again, very engaging, very trustworthy, great content. People love videos. Everybody likes to watch videos and see the person, the personality, the facial expressions, the authenticity, the credibility, but also the product in action. This is a test that we did a few months ago. And we started out with a national survey, and we showed an example of this exact same hero image above the fold with and without this trust bar here. And what we found was that 91% of those surveyed said that they would rather buy from the website that had this trust bar than the exact same configuration without it. Why? Because it shows credibility and trust. So this is the home page, this is the hero image, this is above the fold, and in this scenario, the viewer is getting an instant dopamine hit of trust and credibility, anticipation of a positive user experience. Using our own algorithm, because of the 4.8 star rating, this site is rated excellent, and then our survey, our exit survey, when they purchase, says that 94% of those surveyed would recommend this website. So these are all factual data points, 3,826 reviews, 4.8 average star rating. This creates that aura of trust, credibility, and authority that people want to see. People want to buy. They're going to your website not to waste time. They're going there because they're hoping to find a solution to their need, their problem, their situation. They want to make sure that they're working with a trustworthy website. So that's why these are important, because they're not going there to waste time. This is the test results, A/B split test, of using that trust bar on one of our live clients. As you can see here, it created a 41% increase in conversion rate with a 99.55% confidence factor. So the highest confidence factor you can get. And just by having that trust bar on the homepage, we increase the conversion rate by 41%, which is obviously phenomenal. This is also now continuing through the conversion path. Now we're on a category page. And this is another common mistake that people make is they don't show their product review stars on their category pages. They only show them on the product page. And again, most don't show their seller ratings on their homepage either. So when we're thinking about that conversion path, let's go back a minute. We have trust, review stars in search results. Then we have trust and review stars from seller ratings on the home page. Then we have product reviews on the category page. And I'll show you in a minute, product reviews on the product page. So throughout the entire buyer journey or conversion path, we're showing trust, credibility, authority, because that's what people want to see to make a purchase decision. Now here's the product page. Now we're showing the product reviews, the average star rating, the Q&A, 63 answered questions, and the secure transaction seal. So now people can see that they can trust this product. They can get all of their product questions answered immediately right here on the website. They don't have to use a chat feature. They don't have to leave the website and do a separate Google search to find the answer. They can do it all right here. And this creates a great user experience. It keeps people engaged in the website. The bounce rates are reduced dramatically. The dwell time or time on page or time on site is increased dramatically because now they can engage in the reviews. They can engage in Q&A. And at the moment of truth, right next to the add to cart or buy now button is a secure transaction seal. In this case, with TrustGuard, people can hover over that or click on that. It'll pop a review or a security certificate that says this website was just scanned for malware, spyware, etc. They know that this is a trusted site, a trusted transaction, and they feel confident moving forward with a purchase. This dramatically reduces bounce rate and increases conversion rate. So now we're going to kind of move on to another segment of creating trust and credibility, stickiness, and that's Q&A. So Q&A also sits between SEO and conversion because when Q&A is done right, it's going to show up in search results, it's going to show up in the featured snippets, and it's going to be on your website so that people can see the search results, go to the product page, engage in Q&A, get their questions answered, have the confidence and the trust to move forward to make sure this is the right product, it's going to fit their situation, etc. So we like to say that Q&A is a third source of traffic. We all are well aware of paid traffic and organic traffic. Q&A traffic is organic traffic, but it's a new source of organic traffic that people simply have not been thinking about leveraging or using. Yet it's extremely powerful, extremely agile, and it's quick and easy to get those search results using search optimized Q&A. I like to share this because this is a study that Neil Patel did. This came out, I think, about 3 months ago. And he's showing that in the year 2023, almost 49% of their business, their revenue, came from long tail search words. In the year prior, it was 31%. So the moral of this story is service the long tail, which means the long search questions, 5, 6, 7, 8 word search questions, which are very specific, very granular around your product, your service, your category. Those are the ones that are easier to optimize for and have the higher buyer intent and convert at the highest rate because those people are at the bottom of the funnel. They're ready to buy. They just need to know, does it come in blue? Does it fit with this? Does it work this way? Is it waterproof? Does it float? Whatever the question. If they can get that question answered, then they're pretty much ready to buy. That's why these long tail, high purchase intent, bottom of the funnel search queries convert at the highest rate. So make sure that when you're thinking about your keywords, you're not just thinking about those high volume, shorter keywords. Yes, those are very attractive because they have a lot of volume, but they're very competitive and they don't convert at the same rate as a bottom funnel long tail search term. This is our own website. When we installed Q&A in April of last year, you can see what happened. We increased organic traffic by 378% and page one keywords by 431%. And again, example of a client that had just crazy compound growth in traffic and revenue. Again, I wanted to go back and reiterate why it's so important to get those top 5 search results because they get 69% of the clicks. This is an example of obviously a search optimized Q&A. Another example from our own website, we can get multiple answers, multiple search results from a single search query using search optimized Q&A. And of course, featured snippets. You can get multiple answers to a single question. And this is a client, even with the AI-enabled search, they're showing up in the featured snippet for a very long tail, very specific product-related search question, which then drives to the Q&A on the website. It shows the product that is related to that question. And then, of course, that points to the product page with your reviews, your Q&A, and your secure transaction. So again, we'd like to offer you our digital version of Reputation King, the strategy guide, and the audiobook. And here's your link. Go to traffic.shoppeраpproved.com/growth-genius. Take a picture of that, write that down, go there and download this book. I guarantee you, you're going to learn a lot about online reputation, reviews, SEO, Q&A, how to dominate search, how to dominate the conversion path, and create trust from search to checkout.
Thank you, DJ. Wonderful session. Really loved all the inputs which you shared. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes.
With that, it's to the audience. We are open for Q&A. If you have any questions for DJ, please put it in the comments box wherever you are, because some of you are on LinkedIn today, some of you are on YouTube, and some of you are on the Infidigit platform. So yes, you could put the questions over there in the comment window, and we would be happy to share those with DJ. In the meanwhile, DJ, I have a few questions for you to start with. DJ, you mentioned about the product page, and on the product page you shared that particular star ratings, right, for each of the product page, or that was the category page, my bad, sorry. So on the category page you had that one image where you showed sunglasses, and that had some ratings. So even if those ratings are aggregated and I believe those are coming from the shopper approved platform itself, but
Correct.
would those ratings be stored only on shopper approved, or is it being aggregated from some other platforms where this particular ratings are going?
That's a great question. So the product reviews are collected by Shopper Approved, and they live on the Shopper Approved certificate for the brand and the client's website. But because we are a Google review partner and a Bing review partner for product reviews, they also get syndicated to Google, Bing, and Yahoo. So those show up in your Google Shopping, paid and organic. They show up in your Google Ads and your Bing Ads. So you can get those reviews collected from one platform, Shopper Approved, which then gets syndicated to Google, Bing, and Yahoo to show up in your paid and organic search results, as well, of course, be housed on your own website.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that, DJ. And similarly, you mentioned about the previous page, which was, I believe, the page where you had mentioned that these ratings are aggregated onto multiple platforms like Google, G2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Trustpilot. Yep. So what we do, sorry, go ahead.
So would all these reviews also be captured on Shopper Approved and then distributed to all these platforms, or are they published over there and then aggregated by Shopper Approved?
Okay, great question. What we do is we allow you, the website owner, to distribute a percentage of your reviews, your seller ratings, to multiple platforms. So for example, you can have 10% of your reviews, your seller ratings, sent to Trustpilot, 10% to SiteJabber, 10% to Google, 10% to Better Business Bureau, 10% to reseller ratings, the rest to Shopper Approved. So you can't duplicate your seller ratings. They have to live in one place or another.
Okay.
So Once you have enough reviews on Shopper Approved to qualify for your Google Ads, because you need 100 reviews, seller ratings on a rolling month average to qualify. So once you've qualified for that, you can start sending reviews to other platforms so you get that search domination strategy.
Perfect. That helps, DJ. DJ will take up one question from the audience. The audience has also started sharing the questions. There is a question from Pratap, and Pratap is asking that for startups, how do we make a strategy for online brand authority? What are the important points for building an online brand authority?
Great question. So as a startup, you can't start too early because you really need to start building the trust as early as possible because you're probably not a well-known brand yet. Obviously, as a startup, you wouldn't be. So there's no time to start like the present. Start collecting reviews because that's going to facilitate your growth. The sooner you can get a momentum, enough seller and product reviews and video reviews to show up in your Google Ads, your organic and paid search results, the sooner you're going to get momentum and grow. I would be very proactive in also asking customers for a testimonial. So testimonials are at least a source of social proof. They're not going to qualify for the Google and Bing review stars, but at least it's something you can put on your website. But I can't stress enough how important it is for every brand to start early and get aggressive with collecting seller and product reviews that are Google qualified, because there's no better way to grow. There's no faster way to grow than start building trust and credibility and authority quickly. One of the other things you can do, obviously, is write content that is unique, that is authoritative, credible. It's not just repurposed AI content. It's coming from you, the expert, and that helps create trust as well. And another thing I would add is give as aggressive as a guarantee or warranty return policy as you possibly can, because that is a major friction point. And really, sales and marketing is all about identifying and removing friction. The more friction there is, the fewer sales you have. So think about all the possible areas of concern, doubt, fear that you would have, and do what you can to remove or mitigate that friction, and that will help as well.
Perfect, DJ, that helps. Pratap, I hope that helps you get the answer which you are looking for. So start early, that's needed, be it a startup or a brand. Building reputation doesn't need any specific brand size, right? So even if you're a startup, please start early.
Yeah.
Thanks, DJ, for that wonderful message. The next
Absolutely.
question that we have, DJ, is from Madhuri. Madhuri is asking, you shared a slide where you had published a study about the keyword, how do they drive the revenue? And her question is that as compared to 3 to 6 keywords where there was a drop which was seen uh, from the year 2022 to 2023, for the 7 words or more, we saw a good increase. So what has made the difference?
Well, as we know, Google's always changing their algorithm and weighting things and testing and experimenting. They have over 100 components in their search algorithm, and things are always changing. So one can never really know for sure what's happening with those particular components or keywords. It could be a competitive play, it could be an algorithm change or an algorithm experiment. So it's very, very difficult to pinpoint 7 particular keywords, an increase or a drop at a particular point in time, if that helps.
Yeah, and DJ, I believe we may look at voice search also, right? With voice search, what we are seeing is the keyword, the length of the keyword is increasing. So maybe
Oh,
that
yes.
could also be a factor, Madhuri. We don't clearly know. While DJ mentioned that there could be several things, Voice search is something which is increasing day by day across the globe, and that could be the reason. And voice search
Yeah.
queries are definitely long tail as compared to the other written queries. So that could also be one of the reason why we are seeing that particular change in trend. But
And I
that
think,
means definitely uh, work a lot on question and answers. That's something which is the hidden message over there. What DJ was trying to convey, that if you put in more content, more reviews, etc., that should help you gain those kind of visits, which are moving more towards the long tail now.
yeah, and people, I think, in search are getting more and more trained, more
Mhm.
accustomed to putting in more specific search queries because they know that if they don't get real specific, they're not going to find the solution or the answer.
Mhm.
So I think as time goes on, we're going to see more and more emphasis on those 7-word, 5-word, 7-word plus keyword search queries because people don't want to waste their time looking at search results that aren't addressing the question. And I think if you look at your own search history from 10 years ago to today, your search queries have changed. I know mine have. I get a lot more specific than I used to because I don't want to look at results that aren't addressing the question. So that's probably answering your question more specifically.
Mhm. Okay, thanks, TJ. The questions are flowing in. Let me now select which ones we can take up. Divya is asking, how can I gain reviews or user testimonials for a blog, not for an e-commerce?
How can you collect reviews for a blog?
Yes.
Well, you can ask people to review or write a thumbs up. There are tools for that. Our tool works specifically after a form or a checkout or purchase of some kind. Now, you can use a form, and that can serve as a checkout, if you will. So you can have a survey question and then ask, how would you rate this blog article? You can certainly do that. Um, but let me give you a real key for blogs. So when I showed you, we don't have a checkout. We don't sell things online. But when I showed you our increase in traffic and keywords, that was from our blog content. So what we did, we used our own Q&A tool to ask questions and provide answers to the content within that blog. And so we were getting a lot more keywords on page one and in the featured snippet from the blog. We also took our H1s and our H2s in the blog, changed those to questions, and then provided a short, concise, accurate 40 to 60 word answer in the blog itself. And many times, even without the search optimized Q&A tool, that would show up in featured snippets or page one. So those are ways you can leverage your blog content to get top search results. And hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, DJ. Thanks. And we have another person who is Meena. Meena says that Meena is asking the question that how does brand reputation help in lead generation and long-term sales for a B2B website?
Very important. B2B is the same. They're the same people. People don't change their psyche or their concerns, their doubts, their fears once they become a B2B buyer versus a B2C. They still want to see reviews. They want to see trust. They want to see credibility. They want to see you showing up in the top search results. So it's just as important for B2B as it is B2C. Um, if you think about your own buying patterns, I buy things from a B2B and a B2B, B2C perspective every day online, and I'm still looking at reviews. I'm still looking for trust signals. I'm still looking for credibility. I'm still looking for expertise and authority. It doesn't matter what I'm buying or who I'm buying it for. I still want to see the same trust signals on that website and in search. So to answer your question, it doesn't change at all. You still need the trust signals, the review stars, the Q&A, and the credibility.
Perfect. And DJ, your own website, Shopper Approved, will be the best example for this. A B2B website which is using seller rating, all the different kind of ratings to increase the trust, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, I believe that was Meena. Meena, I hope that helps you get the answer to your question on the B2B. We have Rahul. Rahul is asking how to create a trust for a new school website where all the competition are big players and they have already built the trust for a long period. How can we build trust which is more than this larger players?
Great question. So I'm going to use an example we did in our book. So in our book, we have 35 reviews from experts, authorities in SEO, PPC, CRO, e-commerce, digital marketing, all of the categories. So we spent a lot of time and energy working with and asking experts about our book. What are your thoughts? Is this a good resource? Is this helpful? And those 35 reviews from leading experts around the world, Kushal is one of them, that creates a lot of credibility for a brand new book and essentially new authors. Scott and I have been in the industry for a long time. Scott's published some things, I've published some things, but this is our first book in this space. And we created a lot of social proof, a lot of trust, a lot of authority, a lot of credibility by simply doing the groundwork to get the reviews and the quotes from experts. So that's one thing you can do as a smaller school, a newer school, is reach out to community experts, education experts, parents, teachers, educators, and get their reviews, their testimonials that you can then leverage on your website, in your printed marketing materials, etc. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it definitely does, DJ. There are lots of things to be done. That's definitely there. But yes, they need to catch up with the bigger ones, bigger players. So definitely lots of activities to be done there. Thanks, DJ, for answering that. DJ, the next question, which is from Hardik, is around the secure transaction seal which you presented. The question is this something which is integrated with Shopper Approved, or do we need to purchase it separately?
Yes, that is a shopper-approved product. TrustGuard is one of our companies, and that's part of what we call our TNC suite, or Traffic and Conversion Suite, which includes seller ratings, excuse me, seller ratings, product reviews, video reviews, Q&A, and the secure transaction seal. And if you look at that configuration, I'm not sure what Amazon looks like in other countries, but in the US, that configuration looks just like Amazon in the US. And when we did our research and surveys, we asked people, why do you prefer this particular layout and design on the product page? And they said, because it looks like Amazon. I'm comfortable with Amazon. I have confidence in Amazon. So rather than creating something that nobody is comfortable with or aware with, we simply created something that people are very aware of and comfortable with and mimics a very trusted website. Now, of course, our clients have trusted websites because they have all the reviews and Q&A and secure transaction seal, but it creates that familiarity, and familiarity creates trust. So there you go.
That helps, DJ. Thank you. So the next question is, let me see, which one should I take? So the next question is around, initially you had presented is, this is, I'm not able to get the name, but yeah, that's just a kind, I don't know what's, okay, but let's say the question is, you had presented a slide on persuasion that which showed that SEO and then CRO, which mentioned pages till the checkout. Now, where does the shopper approved tool come into the play? Is it at the search engines, or is it across all those pages?
Great question. Across all those pages, you're going to see the reviews that are collected by shopper approved in your Google, Bing, and Yahoo paid and organic search results. So you can start at search. Then using our review widgets, you're going to see seller ratings on your product page or your home page, and then product reviews on your category page and product reviews on your product page. And then of course the website security seal on the product page, and then the Q&A on the product page as well. Now you can also use Q&A, which we do very successfully, on your blog. So Q&A can help with your blog SEO and your very specific product page questions. So that's what we recommend, having those reviews on your product page, category page, home page, and of course in the search results showing up for your own brand, for the shopper approved review certificate, and then again sending reviews to the other review platforms so you can show up in multiple search results and dominate page one.
Okay. DJ, just to expand on that, for my a question from my side, when we do this, would the shopper approved platform help us in getting more questions from the users, or is it the questions which the users ask organically are pushed into the shopper approved platform?
Are you talking about the review questions or the Q&A questions?
The Q&A questions.
Okay, great question. So the Q&A questions and answers are generated in a multiple ways. One, you can create your own questions and answers. So you can survey your salespeople, your support people, etc., and say these are the common questions people always have, so let's go ahead and answer them. You can also use the AI component of the Q&A tool to look at your Google Search Console as well as third-party platforms that are selling your products, and it will scrape those for the questions and answers on those platforms and then provide recommended questions and answers that are different than what are showing up elsewhere. It will also look at your product pages, your category pages, your other support documents, and recommend questions and answers based on the content on your website. And finally, your actual shoppers or site visitors can ask questions, which then you can answer. You can also allow the community, other visitors, other shoppers, to contribute to those answers. So you can turn that community feature on or off, or you can modify those community answers to make sure they're accurate. Because sometimes the community will create an answer that isn't exactly accurate, so you can make it accurate. So you've got the community, you've got your own self-generated, and you've got the AI tool. So collectively, you can generate a lot of keywords and a lot of questions and answers, leveraging AI, leveraging the community, and of course leveraging your own team to address those questions and answers. And we've done all of those, and that's why we generate so many questions and answers and so many keywords on page one, because we're leveraging all of those different Q&A assets. And the integration with your Google Search Console is really powerful because it's going to constantly recommend questions and answers based on the keywords that people are using to find your website.
Okay, perfect. That helps, DJ. Thank you. We'll take last two questions. Jason is asking that you shared an example of a website where the traffic increased by almost 9,000%. Was that something which will be attributed only to shopper approved products, or is that also because of search engine optimization?
Great question. So I did an actual interview with a client just last week, and we're coming out with the video interview very soon here. But I asked him that exact same question because, like, whoa, is this 100% shopper approved? How can that be? He said, well, we actually did do some additional technical SEO. We addressed some of the core web vital issues. We started to get more proactive in blogging, but we attribute at least half of that traffic and keyword growth to shopper approved and the Q&A tool specifically, because when you look at SEMrush, you see that the majority of their keywords are commercial intent and transactional, which means that they're the long tail specific keywords that typically come from Q&A. They're not your general blog type articles. They attribute 100% of their 272% increase in conversion rate to shopper approved, because when they added the seller ratings, the product reviews, and the Q&A, they almost immediately saw a significant increase in conversion rate. Now, they're saying that their conversion rate is even higher now, and they're actually in their slow season, so as soon as the spring and early summer comes around, they're going to see even more traffic, because that's when people are really actively looking for their product category. So more to come. We're going to do another case study late June and see what's changed since then. But to answer your question, they say at least half of the traffic increase is shopper approved, most of the keywords, and all of the conversion rate lift was from shopper approved.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that with us, DJ. DJ, the last question, which is the most appropriate for the last point, and that's where I saved this one. There is a question from Manish. Manish is asking, are there any optimized plans for India for shopper approved?
Optimized plans. Can you be
Pricing
more
plans he's
specific?
referring to. Pricing plans he's referring to.
Oh, pricing plans. Well, good question. I can't answer that directly, but that's a great question and obviously something we need to look into. So stay tuned.
Perfect. Yeah, you could send out an email to DJ. That's something which could be done. Let's see if DJ has some great plans for you.
DJ at shopperapproved.com.
Wonderful. Thanks, DJ, and thanks to the lovely audience for all the questions. We really enjoyed the questions, so thanks a lot for being here with us. And thank you, DJ. It was
Thank
a
you.
wonderful session, and thank you for answering all the questions. It was a real pleasure having you on this particular show.
Thank you. I hoped it was valuable. I enjoyed it a great deal. And thanks again for your time.
Yes, DJ, we really enjoyed it. Thank you. DJ, you will have to hold on the platform. We'll just stop the recording.